Hi, it's Jane Mason here from Virtuous Bread. How are you? I hope you're well. The last time I was kind of moved to have a bit of a chat was when I was talking about, the 3 ingredient dessert or the 4 ingredient dinner, in which one ingredient was actually, some kind of highly processed food that in and of itself had 13 ingredients. And I stand by what I said there, which is, be mindful of what you're being asked to do and read labels and all of those good things, and just know that the 3 ingredient dessert may in fact be, a 10 ingredient dessert when you count up all the ingredients in the highly processed food that you're being asked to add. And that did make me think about the the many cookbooks and recipes out there that extol the virtues of, the 5 ingredients to make a meal, the 5 ingredient dinner or the 5 ingredient lunch. And I 100% respect the feeling behind those books, which is that they want to get people cooking. And I completely agree that it's super important for people who might not cook or who might have a bit of a fear of the kitchen to understand that it can be very easy, and you can prepare very delicious meals for very few ingredients. And I agree with that as well. However, one of the things that we know about gut health, which is linked to practically everything in the world, as we're learning, it's linked to our ability to ward off disease. It's linked to our immune system. It's linked to mental health. It's linked to a whole series of conditions and wellness and illness. And we still know very little about it. But one thing we do know is that the people who have the best kind of gut health have a varied diet. Okay, and it's obviously, we are not talking about processed food at all. We're not talking about, the bits and pieces in processed food adding variety to our diet. There's a really interesting UK doctor called Tim Spector. Okay, he is an MD, but he's worked in many fields of medicine, and recently has something called the Zoe Project. You might want to check it out. It's pretty interesting, which is looking at gut health. But he said something really interesting that I read the other day, or possibly the other year or month, which is that we should aim to have 30 different plants in our diet per week. At first I thought per day, and I thought that was a big ask, okay? But even per week, it sounds, I know it sounds super overwhelming. And what I'm going to do over the next few, days and weeks and maybe months, and if you skibble over to my locals page, you'll see more there, is I'm going to be sharing some recipes and some ideas about how to get those 30 plants into your diet every week. And I want you to trust me when I say there is some advanced preparation required, for sure. If you're not a cook, there are actually many things you can buy that will help you incorporate 30 plants into your diet every week. And that isn't just fruit and veg, right? It is things, certain pre-prepared sauces or certain pre-prepared spice mixes that you can add to things that will help you get this variety in your diet. Cinnamon is a plant. Cumin is a plant. Basil is a plant. Nuts and seeds are plants. So if you start to sort of add up all the possible things you could have in your diet, it begins to feel a little bit less overwhelming. But this is something I've thought about for a long time. And I've often traveled, and I have lived all over the world on various occasions. So it's been really easy for me to remember that if you get out of what is sort of a standard, meat and 2 veg, or fish and 2 veg, or tofu and 2 veg, or whatever your, kind of standard Western diet, you enter cuisines that do have a great deal of variety by dint of the way they eat. Okay, so yeah, incorporating 30 plants into your diet per week may require you to do a couple of things. One is investing in a larder. And again, I know that for some people this is a big ask. And what I would love to encourage people to do is to do that gradually. Okay? Because when you have a larder, you can call on your various things in your larder to help get variety in your diet. And the second thing is to begin to think about eating in a slightly different way. not a huge different way. It isn't going from 0 to 10 or A to Z. It's about moving gradually to just maybe add things to what you're eating that will help you get this variety. So that is the long riff here. The short riff is over the next kind of, weeks and months, I am going to be putting together recipes and ideas that will help all of us get to that target of 30 or more plants per week in our diet, and do it in an easy and inexpensive way. So I look forward to seeing more of you, and let me know what you think about this. If you don't know Tim Spector, look him up. If you don't know the Zoe Project, look it up. And, let me know what you think. I'd be very interested to know what you think about this, and like to work together on this. Hope you're well. Bye for now.